Lovely day here at Whistler, Green Lake. Just rolling out here for our, well, floating out here for our takeoff departure. Early morning launch here. Try to get out of here before it gets too windy. We're going right up that valley there. I am testing out this awesome add-on that one of the bush divers, members created to bring this GPS unit into the Cessna 185. This is going to change how I do so much stuff in this airplane, which is really nice. It does require the other, I can't remember the name of it, but it's one of the GPS add-ons that is free as well, at a minimum for it to work. But I already had that for another aircraft, so that all worked right away. Super cool, like that. That's going to make navigating so much easier. Alright, let's get ready to turn around here. I'm going to go ahead and close our window. Maybe. There we go. Taking off into the sun here. Pretty normal for me, it seems. Alright, we are going to go ahead and bring up the water rudder. Try to get up on plane here. Not sure what happened there with the sound. That was a little weird. I think the closing of the window was delayed. Sounds about right. So we're going to maintain our climb out pretty steep here. So long, Whistler. I'll go ahead and bring up our flaps here, get a little more airspeed. Get back within the green here. All right, we are clear of the ridges here. Welcome aboard. navigating with this upgraded radio stack is going to be so much better, especially for changing the radio frequencies. If you watch the video in the last one, when I was testing out VATSIM, trying to scroll through all the radio frequencies and all that stuff, that was an absolute nightmare. Yeah, so much easier to use. So 122.8. Enter. Oops. And we'll go ahead and set up on Unicom here. We're not on VATSIM at the moment. This was more of a test flight. Just going to do a little short hop here to another lake that's up around the corner here. But man, this thing is nice. There's something about the older Cessnas that are really cool. You know, it's just a great old bush plane. And it's got a much prettier tail than the modern ones. Let's get our trim out of control here. Yeah, I really enjoy this airplane. It's quite nice. I do like the view of the low wing better, just because you don't have to crouch down to look at the sides. You can kind of see better. Everybody says you can see better in the high wings, but really that's not the case. Like, yes, you can see straight down a little better, but you can't see through your turns as well. Just takes some getting used to, I guess. But I just recently discovered the virtual airline bush divers, and that's who I got this mod for the GPS unit from. So this is really cool. I'll be doing some content with that soon. I got to get their app installed and figure out how it works, and see if I can use this airplane, because I like this airplane. The virtual airline is a little bit interesting because they have a fleet of aircraft that they're supposed to have, and they primarily fly in a handful of locations, which I'll have to get used to. My goal is to eventually do more flying in Alaska, and I like this area quite a bit. There's just a lot to fly. If you're familiar with where Whistler is, it's just north of Vancouver, which is what we're kind of up in that direction over there now at this point. We'll step outside here. Might get a little loud. I'm going to grab a screenshot of the external. Screenshot simulator. Oop, let's get some throttle back here. We're about to get into the yellow. Now that we're leveled out, don't need to overspeed. Ease back our RPMs a bit. Alright, that's a little weird. I gotta play with that, try to figure out how to get that all the way forward. But yeah, having this big GPS screen is going to make it so much easier with pre-plotted routes and all that stuff to find these little airfields and lakes and such. I'll probably do some tailwheel flying with this soon. I mean, I'm used to the Corsair, so in DCS, this is all easier than that. So, especially right now, it's pretty broken. Tailwheels never really bothered me so much. It does some folks. Not a bad little cruise here. Oh, let's get below the sun here. The lighting in this sim is pretty fantastic. And keep in mind, I'm using a 1080 GTX, and this still looks great. Except for the water at times. The water does get a little funny, which for flying seaplanes, it can be a little tricky. And I don't have a center sprung rudder either, so I have to work a little bit to keep that where it's supposed to be. Sometimes causes some trouble. Yeah, my floor-mounted stick is built more for helicopters instead of planes like this, so trying to get it trimmed on the pitch is a little tricky. I have to do my trimming with it sitting on its own because it is kind of tail-weighted, so it does lay a little bit to the back. Not that big of an issue, though. There was a joke yesterday on the Bush Divers Discord about IFR. Instead of I follow roads, it's I follow rivers. I love it. Definitely a seaplane mentality there. I like it. This thing is awesome. Yeah, and the shadow, the lighting on this water gets a little weird. Not sure what setting I need to change to do that, but I am going to come back around the other direction to land. Once we get to that point. I think we are going to see if we see any structures here we can land towards and have as a end point for this little trip. One of those little coves down there look like a decent place to spend the night. So I think we'll fly past this and come back in and go beach it for the night. And the water's not doing anything weird, so like maybe. Come back in and come just past that bridge and try to touch down right about there. Man, that water looks so glassy right now. I can barely tell where the water is. Where's a radar altimeter when you need one? All right. Well, that was pretty smooth. Get these flaps up so we don't wreck them with water spray. See if we can find a good spot over here to park it for the night. Do some more fishing. A little bit of water effect, graphical effects there. I'm not sure what's, again, I don't know what setting that might be that I need to do, but I have it toned down pretty well because of the older GPU. Step outside here for a screenshot. Because we can. Oh yeah. Beautiful airplane. Such a classic. Let's see if it'll let us back here. Actually, yeah, let's see if it'll let us back here into this cove. Pretty steep. I'll cheat a little bit and go outside here. That's not bad. Looks like we might have a little better chance of beaching on the left side up here. Unfortunately, there's no good way to save your progress, so it's hard to do continuous flights where you stop and carry on again in the next session. You just have to keep notes, I guess. It's kind of definitely unfortunate, but it is what it is. Simulator limitations. This looks like there's one of these spots over here. Look. These don't look too bad over here. Oh, well, simulator said, nope, you're stopping here on the ground. Which is fine. I'll meet you here. Let's get this out of there. Shut the engine off. Full mixture. Yeah, that's right. There's no All right. Let's hop out and take a look around. See if I need to get the canoe. Yeah, I might have to go for a swim here. Oh, it's not too deep. All right. Well, that's it for now, I guess. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.